Einen wunderschönen guten Tag und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Walk. North of the Mill, South of the Brook. Zum Brook kommen wir noch gar nicht im Moment. Von daher nehmen wir jetzt erstmal North of the Mill. Und gucken, was uns nördlich der Mühle erwartet. Ich bin in der Tat ein bisschen neugierig. Ach, du schon wieder. Ja, das hatten wir ja alles schon. Ist ja auch North of the Mill. Ja, nun komm schon. Okay, hier kann ich nirgendwo nach Norden. Entschuldigung. Ich gehe erstmal wieder nach Hause und starte in der Tat in Walk. Ich schätze, das wird erstmal das Richtige sein. Ach, richtig, das war ja die Geschichte, ich erinnere mich. Entschuldigung, das hatte ich schon wieder vergessen. Ach, Querbalken vergessen. Unglaublich. So, ich bin gespannt. Nördlich der Mühle, südlich des... Was heißt ein Brook überhaupt? Ist das sowas wie Teich oder See oder... Okay, dann gucken wir erstmal, ob wir... Ach, was? The Ohm 68 1894. Hä? Steht hier noch mehr? Ich muss mal ganz kurz... Okay, ich musste ganz kurz nachschauen, ob Ohm in der Tat ein Wort ist. Ist es aber nicht. Ich bin extrem verwirrt. Hä? Ich check's nicht. Moment. Wir haben doch hier... So, was ist jetzt was? Moment, ich muss mir... Map. Das wird garantiert der Username sein. Und das war 1894? 1894, okay. So, das Journal, genau, so. Das hatte ich völlig vergessen. 68 und 1894. Sign in. Uah. Mich verarschen, das sind 3 Millionen Einträge. Die lese ich doch jetzt nicht alle. Okay, wenn die so kurz sind, geht das. Testing-Foto. Ich habe das Gefühl, ich sollte mir hier alles sehr genau angucken. Entschuldigung, ich lese das jetzt einfach nochmal mit vor. Macht ja vielleicht auch einfach Sinn. Hello, new system. Testing photo upload. It works. Should probably write here more often. Read about every book on Swedish folklore there is. Surprised how little has been written about year walking. Need more sources of information. Talked to ES. He suggested some field work. Might be good, but I feel that I might be 30 years too late. Been talking to elderly folks, eating cookies and drinking coffee. Their knowledge about year walking has been limited to say the least. Barely any one of them knew what it was. If they did, they had heard stories as children, but forgotten the details. Thinking ES sent me on a wild goose chase. Interviews at the retirement home. May I never grow old. The last interview was intriguing, if very brief. Talked to one Astrid Jansson. She was over 100 years old, clear at times, did not know a lot about folklore, but she did claim that her grandfather's brother had once year-walked. Sadly, she did not know his name. He had died many years before she was born. Might have to look into it. Her maiden name was Svensson, which leaves me with a lot of possibilities. She was born in Vettorp, and I can only hope that her grandfather was as well. More interviews, nothing worth mentioning. Professor Asp called today. He hinted that the faculty wanted to take part in my research. So, wir sind jetzt beim 2. September. Entschuldigung, ganz ehrlich, da kommen 3 Millionen Einträge. Ich gehe das jetzt mal von... Alter. Okay. Ich gehe es doch einfach mal durch. Followed up my visit to the retirement home, in the early 20th century there were 6 households in Vettorp with the surname Svensson according to the church book. Astrid was born in 1913. Her grandfather was named Carl Frederick. He had 2 brothers. One died in 1942. The other brother, Daniel Svensson, died in 1895. Since Astrid said that her great-uncle died before she was born, Daniel is the one that supposedly year-walked. A miller apprentice, going to the library to check out old newspapers tomorrow. Looked for reference of Daniel Svensson in old newspapers. I'm grasping at straws. Another day at the library, nothing of interest. Bored, I'm about to give up. Excited! The newspapers finally mentioned a Daniel Svensson. He was apparently arrested for the murder of a young woman in Wettrop. Information is scarce. Ich hoffe, ich spreche das richtig aus. Sorry, mein Englisch ist nicht unbedingt das perfekteste. Her name was Stina Nilsson, and she was a miller's daughter. Her body was found on the field outside of the village. She had been stabbed multiple times. Haben wir das vielleicht in unserer Vision gesehen? The library should be open longer. Hope I can find any reference in his supposed year walk. The motive behind the murder seems to have been jealousy. Not many details. Apparently, Stina was going to marry a Lucas Tapper. She was on her way home from Lucas' parents, and she was intercepted by Daniel. She was found the following morning, just 17 years old. I feel a tad guilty about my excitement yesterday. After all, there's a great tragedy behind all this. The press seemed to have lost interest in the case after a while. Found nothing today. Maybe ES can tell me something. Had a long talk on the phone with ES. The murder case was unknown to him. He had, however, spent a lot of time in Wettrop during the 60s, when he studied folklore in the area. There had been a rather peculiar runestone that seemed to predate the Viking Age. ES claims that there was a definite connection between the symbols on the stone and year-walking. He could not tell me how one to check it out. Went to the library again, in case I missed something about Daniel. Indeed I had found another article. Feeling upset and a little bit sad. Borrowed the article just in case. Perhaps there's more to learn about Daniel. Booked a hotel room in Wettrop. Arrived in Wettrop. It's a small place. One street cuts through the village. It's a rather depressing place. To be fair, the weather would not do any place justice. The hotel is empty besides me and a group of dog toy manufacturers who are a bit on the noisy side. Must ask the chef for a real recipe, sorry. Got a map from the hotel owner. Excited about the archive. Archive, I guess. Have the feeling I will find something major. Just got back from the archive. An interesting place. Sadly, it's only open 4 hours a day. It's understandable since I was the only visitor. Possibly found the files I needed. Tomorrow, reading and lots of it. I knew it. The archive has exceeded my wildest dreams. On New Year's Eve in 1893, Daniel Svensson did indeed year walk. The court records refer to his year walk at several occasions. I have just started to scratch the surface. There must be beliefs hidden amongst the papers that have been forgotten for ages. Amazing. This is by far the latest recorded year walk. I hope I'm excused for borrowing the file from the archive. They gave me little choice since they are closed during the weekend. Could not sleep last night, too excited by the files. Much of the records are of legal nature, but there are relevant passages. Daniel claimed he knew that he would murder Stina after seeing it in a vision on his year walk. Sadly, the scribe has not bothered to take it all down and occasionally just refers to it as ramblings of a madman. Poor boy. There are certain elements that are new to me. Must write them down on detail later on. I need fresh air. Daniel's cabin Sorten is briefly mentioned in the protocol. We'll ask around about it. Hope it still exists. Na, sieh mal einer an. Drove around 4 hours in the forest today. These are woods to get lost in. Asked for directions from every local. Most people never heard of the cabin. Was about to give up when I met an old man. His aunt had lived there until the 60s. From then it had 3 different owners that used it as a summer house until the mid-80s. The last family that owned the cabin only stayed there 1 summer. Their 5-year-old son drowned in a brook nearby, and after that they never returned. Nobody has lived there since. The old man's nephew owned the land. I asked the old man if I could pay it a visit. He did not think there could be anyone that would mind. The cabin is situated deep into the forest. No sign, no road, just a narrow path. This was the place where he started his yearwork over 100 years ago. Felt overwhelmed by the thought. Could not enter. It's a lonely place. The only other building I could find in the area was an underground storehouse. Guess it might have belonged to the cabin. It was just too dark to see anything, but I can't imagine there would be anything of significance in there. On my way back to the car, I found this strange box. What an odd thing to leave in the middle of the forest. Seems to be in more or less mint condition. I could not resist taking it. Tonight I need whiskey. And lots of it. Oh, mir läuft gerade so ein richtig schöner Schauer den Rücken runter. Ich warne euch schon mal vor. Also die Folge wird ein bisschen länger. Sorry, wenn ich hier kurz unterbreche, aber ihr seht ja, da kommen noch etliche Einträge. Ich weiß nicht, wie lang die werden, aber das wird noch ein bisschen zu lesen sein. Went to Vertup Church today. It's a small white stone church built in the 12th century. The place where the church stands has been used for worship even earlier than that, according to the priest I met. He showed me around the premises. I put a bouquet of flowers on Stina's grave. Seemed appropriate. The almost unlikely somber epitaph read, "In memory of our loving daughter, Stina Nilsson, 1877 to 1894. Her cries for mercy could not sway his hand." Depressing. Searched for Daniel's grave, but there was no stone, and according to the priest, there probably never was. The gravestones he has told me about are gone. The priest is not sure where they are and when they disappeared. Weather has been unreasonably bad. Spent the day at the county archive. Had trouble concentrating. Tried to locate a photograph of Daniel Svensson, but had no luck. The clerk explained that a lot of stuff was lost when the files were moved from the regional archive back in 1976. Apparently, there was another murder case in Vettorp in the early 1890s. Lisa Rasmussen drowned 4 infants in a creek. She was an angel marker who received foster children from poor unmarried mothers. Lisa promised to find the babies good homes in exchange for a hefty sum of money. This was all a charade. As soon as the mothers had paid what little they owned, she drowned their children in the nearby creek. All files from the trial have been lost. Outrageous. Think I'm done with the archive. Been thinking a lot about that church. Strange day. The rune stones he has talked about is not marked on any map. Talked to the man at the service station. He drew me a rather primitive map. Searched for the stone for a long time. Almost gave up. Found it at last. Felt compelled to touch it. Had the strangest sensation of looking beyond what? The feeling lasted for quite some time. Heading home tomorrow. Wish I had more time. This stone is old, might predate Christianity, but I fail to see how it is connected to year walking. Could not resist stopping by the church on my way home. Walked around it for a bit. It's a pretty church, not remarkable, but there is something about it. Feel that the church and the stone are connected somehow. Found the box when I unpacked, had almost forgotten about it. It seems to have some lock-like construction, but I have yet to understand exactly what it is or how to open it. It reminds me of one of those puzzle boxes. The wheel with the symbols suggests it's opened by entering a password. It must be old. Maybe ES knows something about it. Decide not to tell ES about the box. He might not appreciate that I took it with me. He's always nagging me about ethics. Ugh. Busy week, classes and meetings. This faculty is really getting in the way of my research. Feeling a bit strange. I've had weird dreams ever since I came back from Vettorp. Dreamt that I was in a vast wasteland. I was searching for the keys to my locker together with Jenny from high school. We laughed and dug in the sand. Suddenly the sky lit up and Jenny pointed to a simple constellation of stars. She whispered in my ear to never forget it. Okay. I asked her what it meant, but she was dead and her bones were withered and old. Woke up and have been feeling rather crazy ever since. Ja, verständlich. Read an account of a year walk by a man called Romdahl in an old book I came over in a used bookshop. Romdahl's story is little more than a tall tale told by a drunken oaf. Most of them seem to be. Daniel sticks out. It haunts me. Held a lecture on year walking. Several faculty members attended it. They ridiculed me in front of the students. Na, vielen Dank auch. Another strange dream. Was doing my homework, was stressed because the oil lamp was running out of oil, and when it did, the pale horse outside the window would come inside. The lamp burned out and everything went black. Woke up, soaked in sweat. Must remember to buy groceries. Fiddled with the box. I have no clue how to open it. Frustrating. What jealous, small-minded, greedy creatures the faculty members are. And they will undoubtedly create small-minded, jealous, and greedy students. Don't feel the need to share any of my research with the faculty anymore. They don't deserve to read something that my hand has written. They would not understand it anyway. The thought of what is inside the box is like an itch that can't be scratched. I've searched for references to anything about it, but I've found nothing that resembles it at all. Having more strange dreams. Something happened in those woods. Is he walking a mere vision quest? Are the visions brought on by... Are the visions brought on by lack of light and food? Yes, believes so. I'm not so sure. Dreamt of the runestone. Was in the forest outside Vettorp. Mrs. Bowman was walking up to me. I was very afraid. She said that I had been a bad boy and broken the rules. Before I could defend myself and tell her that I did not mean to be naughty, she withered into dust. Found myself in front of the old runestone. The Grimm's eye glowed at me. Woke up. Find myself thinking about the stone. What does it mean and how is it connected to year walking? What did people do in those woods? do not feel like sleeping tonight, drinking coffee and watching TV. If I stay awake, those dreams will stay away. I could not understand much of my students' presentations today. Must sleep. Someone is watching me all the time. Got an email reminder to deliver the text for the game. Wrote 7 or 8 pages. Hopefully it's enough. Waiting. Don't know for what. Have a feeling that something is on its way. Received an odd email today. Got over 1,000 of these during last night. Over 1,000, wow. The emails seem to have stopped when my inbox was full. Don't know what it could mean. Maybe it's a prank by some students, but they seem too unimaginative to come up with something like this. Don't think it will end here. Alter. Is this some kind of threat? Called the priest, told him about my plight. He said that Vetorp sometimes has strange effect on people, but it rarely lasted. Do not think he understands. I was going to ask him about the box, but decided to hang up when he suggested I should see someone. Woke up last night, heard baby screams from beneath the floorboards. Panicked, managed to pry up some on the floorboards. The screaming stopped. The Watchers, the Night Raven, the Huldra, the Brook Horse, and the Church Grim. There might be others. Cannot be sure. Can they disguise themselves? Maybe they can read my mind? The Watchers. Because they watch. That's what they do. But is it all they do? Year walk equals system error. Year walking works, but it was never meant to. It's against the rules. The universe blinked its eye and someone crossed all barriers that are known as time and space. The Watchers are watching, but who are watching the Watchers? How can you bend time and space? Got in a heated argument with ES. He's surprisingly scornful of my theories. Must remember that he's an old man and he might not be as open to new ideas any longer. He claims that it is impossible to gaze into the future. The future is not set. Nothing happens until it happens. Of course it's impossible to look into the future according to logic, but I'm not sure they are playing according to our rules. The Watchers are more than they appear, and less. They are real, yet they are unreal. They do not exist in the manner that is this table and this chair exist. How do I know these things? Are they my thoughts? Am I writing this? I certainly did not draw this, but yet it's right here in my notebook. Und ich denke, wir hatten ja in der E-Mail auch schon diesen Halbkreis und hier dieses Ding. Und wir hatten auch vorher schon ein Dreieck. Ich denke, das wird nachher die Kombination für die Box sein. Gucken wir mal. Watchers or antibodies? Daniel broke the rules, and he was punished. Held another lecture, the last one for a long while it seems. It's been decided that I need a break, but it matters not. Have more important things to do. I've been an idiot. Someone is playing with me. These shapes, it's the same as on the box. Did someone see me take it? Tried the symbols I have received, but the box remains shut. There must be more coming. Woke up last night. The telephone rang. Answered. Could not hear anyone. Hung up. It rang again. Answered. Could hear someone speak on the other side. Could not make out what was being said. The voice was too far away. Hung up. It kept ringing. Cut the cord. Bought whiskey, bought food. People stare. Don't want to go out there again. Too many know who I am. If you break the rules, there will be consequences. Wish I had not cut the cord on my phone. Need to hear a human voice, and I don't dare to go out. Geht das als Symbol durch? At first I didn't even notice. One of the paintings in my living room has been replaced. Alter. It must have happened during the 30 minutes I slept. Cannot let my guard down. Someone was here. Or something? Will the antibodies come for me? Am I a virus in the eye of the universe? Boarded up the balcony and all the windows. Nothing can come in now. I hope. Shouldn't be possible, but someone was here again. I'm definitely being threatened. There was a knife on my kitchen table. Old, but sharp. I realized that the knife is his. We are connected. The church is central to this, and yet it is not. Perhaps the church itself is not important, but rather the energy of the place. Perhaps the gate is always there? But it's not a gate. Gates are meant to be open or closed. This is a rift in the fabric of the very existence of everything. But why allow it? Why does the universe or God or someone not shut the gate? If we are not meant to do it, why let us? I can hear the heart of the universe beating. What is happening? Feel like a worm under a big boot. Feel the shadow hanging over me, waiting to get crushed. She sings, and I shall follow. She is trying to fool me. That I know, but I must get closer to her, because then I get closer to the key that leads to the heart of it. I didn't steal the box because it begged me to take... No, I didn't steal the box because it begged me to take it with me. No, I didn't. Daniel survived all the watches sent by the universe. He was lured by the temptress, brought the innocents to the pale horse, unearthed the parasite, and finally faced the master of them all. But yet he was destroyed. Could it have gone any other way? Was he doomed from the start? Am I doomed? Is the future set, or can it be altered? Must help him. It's the right thing to do. There is a bond between us. Might have figured it out. 5 watches, 5 symbols, which means there's one more coming. So tired. Can't seem to hold my thoughts for any period of time. Should probably eat more often, but I must resist. It's important that I come prepared. The heart beats stronger, but I will break it and see beyond everything. In the end, it was the nature of man that got Daniel. Must free myself of all desires. That's how they get to you. Can love really be a weakness, or is it strength? And the poor girl, it just seems unfair. Is there anything I can do? If the future can be altered, why not the past? Am I playing the part of the fool in this cosmic play? And if so, to what purpose? Disconnected the microwave oven, just in case. Feeling absolute terror at the possibility that there is no purpose, no rhyme, no reason, any of it. Why me? The only way I can help him is if I break the rules. It will come at a price, but what do I care if I can rise above it all? saw her lifeless body. She's beautiful, even in death. Have been crying ever since. It all seems so needless, so cruel. Ready for anything, don't care anymore. It's finally here, the last one. Woke up with this in my palm. Try to wash it out. It's a tattoo. Tested them in all different kinds of combination, but I could not figure out how to do it. I must sleep. I will open that box tomorrow. Of course, so simple. Rotate the wheel and release it when the symbol aligns with the grim. In the order they were delivered to me. But why was it empty? I thought it was Daniel all along. I thought he was here, but it cannot have been he who sent me the password. It doesn't make sense. If the box was empty, it means it must be filled? I still do not understand who sent me the symbols. If it was not the boy, then it must have been the watchers. But why? Are they toying with us? Helping us some perverse twisted way, sorry. From the get-go, he was doomed. They got him at the very thought of year-walking. But I think the girl can be saved. I put everything he needs in the box and locked it. I will leave it where I found it, where all of this started. If my mind is set on this, does it mean that I am doomed too? The rift is open. It wants me to go through. Pack my things. I wonder if I will come back. Solsorten. It's cold here. Wish I could light a fire, but I must do it right. Surprised how calm I feel. Only hours remain. It's midnight. Wow. Alter Falter. Wenn ihr bis hierhin durchgehalten habt, auf jeden Fall vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen schon mal. Und ich hoffe, ich habe mir jetzt nebenbei hier den richtigen Kram gemerkt. Ich glaube, mir ist am Anfang auf jeden Fall ein Symbol... das erste müsste auf jeden Fall das Dreieck gewesen sein. Dann war es, meine ich, das Ding hier in der Mail. Dann war es, meine ich, das Quadrat, was er gemalt hat. Dann war es das Dreieck in dem Bild. Und dann war es der Halbmond auf seiner Hand tätowiert. Kristianstad, January 1st. Yesterday morning, Vertop killer Daniel Svensson was executed at Kristianstad prison. He was found guilty for the heinous murder of young Stina Nilsson last year. The death sentence has been criticized by the highly renowned Dr. Helmer Lundbeck, who stated that Daniel is suffering from abnormal psyche. He seems to have problems discerning past from present, and visions of terrible creatures, something not uncommon among schizophrenics. Daniel cannot be held accountable for his actions and should be given treatment at an institution for the criminally insane. The execution was performed by Gustav Dahlberg. This is his fourth execution. Last year he was to perform the execution of the notorious Lisa Rasmussen, who was charged with the murder of 4 infants in Vettorp, but who took her own life before the sentence could be carried out. Security has been improved greatly since. Daniel Svensson was composed during the whole process. Besides the slightly shaking hands so common among the criminal type, you could not tell Daniel from any other young man. He sobbed loudly once when he laid his head down low, but quickly regained his composure. A quick prayer and a swift, powerful stroke, and it was over. According to the attending priest, Granath, Daniel's last words were, "I should have killed myself. Then none of this would have happened." You are long dead when I write this, and I have not yet been born. Yet we have a connection beyond life, death, space, and time. The impossible made possible by year-walking. But the watchers always win. Even though you've not passed through the rift yet, they sense the urge, and they want their sacrifice. I wish there could be another way, I'm sorry, but for her, there is still hope. You can save her. You know what you must do. Alter. Alter. Okay. I should have killed myself. Alter. Ob das jetzt wirklich das Happy End ist, ich bin mir da nicht so sicher. Aber zumindest überlebt Stina. Immerhin. Ein Leben gerettet, unseres dafür beendet. Wow. No, I don't want to walk again. No thanks, I'm done. Wow, okay, das war ziemlich großartig, möchte ich sagen. Nicht unbedingt lang, abgesehen von dieser Folge, aber mal im Ernst, also selbst wenn man alles liest, hat man das, also ich habe jetzt nicht alle Texte in der Enzyklopädie gelesen, aber tja, ich denke mal, so in 3 Stunden kann man das locker durchspielen. Wenn man überhaupt keine Ahnung hat. Wenn man Ahnung hat, wahrscheinlich so in einer Viertelstunde. Aber was für ein großartiges Spiel. Ich habe 2-3 Mal, wenn es reicht, fast einen Herzinfarkt bekommen. Das war es locker wert. Großartige Stimmung, großartig gemacht. Dieses Tagebuch am Ende finde ich super. Ich finde es richtig, richtig großartig. Das rundet das Ganze nochmal so richtig ab. Und ganz ehrlich, auch wenn ich es jetzt nicht super toll vorgelesen habe und mir vielleicht auch beim Lesen so ein bisschen was entgangen ist, mir lief es 2-3 Mal so eiskalt den Rücken runter, diese ganze Story so durch ist. Ich finde es sehr, sehr cool. Jetzt nochmal, auch wenn ich schon gesagt habe, wenn du bis hierhin geguckt hast, vielen, vielen, vielen Dank fürs Zugucken. Ich hoffe, dieses Spiel und dieses Let's Play hat dir genauso viel Freude bereitet wie mir. Für Kommentare jederzeit offen. Schreibt mir gern irgendwas in die Kommentare, wie ihr es fandet. Ich würde mich freuen, ob ihr mehr sowas in die Richtung wollt oder eher sagt, nee, mach mal lieber wie ein bisschen mehr Action, mehr Hack and Slay oder sowas. Oder doch lieber wieder ein bisschen mehr Horror, ein bisschen mehr Adventure, mal gucken. Also, wenn ihr irgendwie Ideen habt, was ihr sehen wollt, schreibt es mir gerne in die Kommentare. Und ansonsten wünsche ich euch noch eine angenehme Zeit. Macht's gut, bis zum nächsten Let's Play. Und ich denke, ich werde heute Nacht nicht schlafen. Ich muss mich dringend vorbereiten aufs nächste Yearwalking. Macht's gut.